from Commander Legends all the way to Alpha, we have a wide range of Magic the Gathering news to cover today. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. I am the dignified Magic historian. I've seen the comments people have been leaving. Why can't you look more presentable? You look like a schlub. You're the Magic historian. You should look better. I hear you guys. So hopefully hopefully what I'm wearing here makes you feel like I'm professional and like I'm acting my age, because it's really, really important that I do so. It genuinely impacts what I'm doing here, and you're not being petty in any way. All right, so that little bit of nonsense out of the way, get you a good look. Get you a good look. Just something about my nature that makes me react this way, huh? Okay, so you're here for Magic news. I got a whole list of stuff. Some bigger, some smaller. You know what? Let's start out with a small tidbit. This is limited time information, and this is for those of you who either play Arena or have been thinking about diving into Arena. Today, they're doing a Momir event for FNM. Momir events are awesome. I mean, admittedly, it's better on MTGO, but Momir events are awesome from the perspective of the crazy random nature of it and the access you get to all the different creatures. Like, if you don't know what it is, your deck is a stack of basic lands. Each turn you discard a basic land. And well, I mean, you can choose not to if you want to wait until later turns, but basically, each turn, pay X mana, discard a land from your hand, create a random creature with that casting cost. So if you discarded a card that if you discard a land and pay 3 mana, the game will generate a token that is a creature of any creature that exists in Magic on Arena that costs 3. It'll pick out of all of them and just give you a random token. So that leads to a lot of fun. But the news is really that format's super buggy right now. Just so you know, apparently, if you click on the little Momir icon to activate the ability, but then cancel it, it'll just end your game in a draw or crash the game. And that's not even the only error people are reporting about Momir, but I'm going to be real. I just use that as an excuse to get it on the list. I really like Momir. I think Momir is a lot of fun. And even with the bugginess, I suggest you try it out. If you've never played Arena, it's perfect. You can just log in, create an account. It's not going to cost you nothing. And you can play Momir today for free. If you like it, cool. You got an account. If you don't, never play again. I'm just saying, if you got a little bit extra time, try out Momir. It's pretty cool. All right. So we've got the Commander Legends Precon leak. You may have heard about this in other places already. I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit behind on this one. This one is a French mistake where we've gotten to see a few of the cards that are coming in the precons. There's some funky stuff. There's like a 6/6 dude that whenever you lay a land, you get to draw a card. So I mean, there's that. There's a weird, a weird Kraken creature that basically lets you return lands to your hand to untap it and make it hexproof, which makes sense. But then the other side of it is you can lay a land and force your opponent to attack. And that's weird. I've got to admit, giving blue that ability feels really weird because that's a red ability. You know what I mean? Like the goading, the taunting. Blue has more of a, I'm going to take control of you and force you to do my bidding. Whereas red has more of a, I'm going to inflame your passions and make you do something in the heat of the moment kind of scenario, right? So that is admittedly a little bit odd. I'm not really going to get hardcore into the spoilers. Actually, the other thing I want to mention is there's a Hydra that's called the Self-Mutilating Hydra, but the artwork is it's just a Hydra with a couple of its heads missing. It doesn't even look like it's hurting itself. So, I mean, we can talk about all that when the cards are properly released and we have the English versions. I'm not a huge fan of putting non-English cards up and talking about them in most cases, so I'm not actually going to be doing that here. We can save that for a proper spoiler video. I just wanted to touch briefly on the fact that we got a few cards and what some of the more interesting points on them were. Now, in terms of in-store play, we had recently talked about how Russia and Europe had their in-store play canceled until X time, right? Well, now the US has had its in-store play suspension essentially extended, right? Because they're currently operating under a suspension. That suspension has been extended out until January. I think there's going to be another update next month. So I guess we're going to like know a couple months out how it's going, which is pretty good. It's better than like last minute notice. But it does suck that a lot of people can't go out and enjoy physical Magic. You know what I mean? Like getting to sit down and play Magic physically is the real deal. There's that, actually, what was the most recent Cardboard Crack cartoon or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? They did that one where it's basically just like reminding people that sitting down to play Magic is just a nice chill experience and helps you get away from a lot of what's bothering you about the game. If you're unhappy about what's going on with Magic the Gathering, the cure is to sit down and play physical Magic. Because then you remember, wait a minute, this is why I do it all. And I think that's part of what's making people so frustrated right now and why so much anger is spilling over. It's because we can't enjoy the good. Like, there's a good side and a bad side to our relationship with Wizards of the Coast. The bad side tends to be getting frustrated over the choices they make, not feeling listened to, feeling they're trying to extract too much money from us, all that. And the good side of our relationship with them is getting to engage with and enjoy the game itself. And Arena can only do so much, right? We're missing out on all the tiny little things that come along with physical Magic, that social aspect of it. It's amazing how you're not cognizant of all this until it's taken away from you. And then you realize all the myriad ways that the game actually like brought good things into your life, right? Like at the end of the day, Magic's an awesome game, and I lament the fact that people aren't able to go and play it. I'm lucky enough to be in a part of Canada where we don't have any of those restrictions going on. So Wizards hasn't made any rules saying we're not allowed to run events. And because I'm not in a major urban area, like if I was in Toronto, which has millions of people living in it, it's either the biggest or second biggest city in Canada. I believe it's the biggest, but I don't know. Anyways, so I'm more somewhere where I can get out. Like I'm going to go to the LGS tonight and hang out for a bit, which it's nice getting to do that. Got a huge play space. Everybody's got their masks, plenty of space, so we don't have to worry about like we're rule breakers or nothing like that. We can actually just have like a chill time. And is it as ideal as like the old days? No, but compared to like Arena and everything that's going on and sitting here at home playing on a computer, it's so much better. Even just getting to hang out and chat with other Magic players is pretty sweet. So let's move on to the next item on the list, and that has to do with Commander Legends, and this is just a clarification question. So when it comes to Commander Legends, every single booster pack is going to come with 2 legendary cards, okay? So you're guaranteed 2 legends in every single pack. So this leads to a situation where you can get 2 legendary cards that are both rares, but then the normal rare slot in the pack is still available. So you can actually get a rare in the normal slot, you can get 2 legendary rares for a 3 rare pack, or if like the odds truly favor you, which obviously most of the time they won't, but if they do, you can actually get a rare in your foil slot as well, which means that the Commander Legends packs can actually have up to 4 rares per booster pack. Not too shabby. That's obviously just a little snippet, nothing worth having its own video, but including it here totally works. What is the next thing we have on our list? Signature art cards. Okay, so we've got a weird situation going on with the Zendikar Rising signature art cards. You know, basically in the Zendikar Rising set boosters, they include these art cards, right? That's where they're from, right? If I'm not mistaken. Are they in collector's boosters? No, I opened collector's boosters. I don't remember seeing them. Regardless, you know what? Let's not get bogged down. They most likely come from set boosters. The point is that Wizards of the Coast tried to create like 2 different tiers of these art cards, where you have your normal printing of the art card, and by the way, they're gorgeous. Taking the art off of a Magic card and blowing it up to the full size of a Magic card, when I first heard about it with Modern Horizons, I went, meh, doesn't sound like it'd be something for me. But seeing them, I actually decided they were gorgeous and wanted all of them. Collecting those art cards, it just seems like it's worthwhile. They're beautiful. Magic artwork is gorgeous. So Wizards decided to step it up a level and create like a premium edition of these art cards. So basically, if I understand the numbers, 5% of these art cards actually have the artist's signature in golden letters. Now, this is like stamped onto the card as opposed to physically signed by the artist. So I have to admit, for me, I don't care about that. Like, if it had been handled by the artist and actually signed by them, that would impact it to me. I'd be like, wow, that's really cool. But just getting a dignity, wow, I'm having a hard time talking. Good Lord, I didn't get enough sleep last night. Anyways, having like a digital stamp, like I signed it digitally and you just stamp it on each card, that doesn't mean anything to me. All it means is that those art cards are like worthwhile to hang on to trade to somebody who collects them, which gives them, I guess, slightly more value. But to me, they're not a big deal. But these cards are supposed to have a signature. So some of these art cards are coming out and they're signature editions because they have like a little planeswalker stamp on them, but there's literally no signature. So it's like, here's the marker to let you know this is a signature card, but there's literally no signature. So it's unclear whether this is just like some sort of printing error where the cards aren't being printed properly, or if all the cards that were going to be done this way were decided they pre-made a list of all the cards they were going to do this with, and then just weren't able to get some of the artist's signatures. You know what I mean? Maybe the artists weren't available, or I have no idea. There's a number of different reasons, some more grim than others, so I'm not going to speculate too much. But it's interesting to note that they have a special signature series, and you can get a special signature series card with no signature. Like, what? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the next item on the list. This is one of minor note. Surprise, surprise. We'll finish off strong because we got one other awesome thing to talk about here at the end, and I wanted to leave it till the end because to me it's the most exciting one. All right. So the one we're going to talk about now is that the Commander leaks that we've seen, where like hundreds of cards have been leaked from Commander, have actually started to cause like market spikes here and there based on what's in there. And the most notable one that I saw was Corsair Captain. All right, that thing's basically doubled in price because a bunch of weird pirate action is going on with Commander. Now, that's just worth noting down, you know? So let's talk about the biggest, most exciting thing on the list, something I wish that I could get involved with. 5 of the original cards from Magic the Gathering. And I mean original. We're talking Alpha Days, first printing, first run, 1993. 5 cards from the very first set of Magic the Gathering are having their original art auctioned off, which is amazing. Like, dude, the cards that are on this list, you've got James Tome, which is a crazy, almost demonic looking book that I've always loved the artwork on. Would love to have that one. You've got Contract from Below, which is one of the most busted cards ever made. 1 black mana to draw a brand new hand of 7 cards. Sure, you have to ante a card up. Sure, but it doesn't matter. You're going to win because you drew those 7 cards. Fun fact, people didn't really abuse that card when I started for some crazy reason. We played ante. People didn't want to cast that. Even though you got a brand new hand, they were like, I'm not putting another card up for ante. So rarely ever actually seeing the card be utilized, right? Anyhow, so you've got James Tome. You've got Contract from Below. You have... I wrote down Mana Drain, but it's not Mana Drain because Mana Drain's from Legends and that's a counter spell. We have Mana Flare, the original mana doubling enchantment, another awesome choice. Then we've got Fear. I will admit that Fear is the least exciting to me out of all of them. That artwork is kind of whatever, but at the same time, these are all like iconic Magic cards. These are all like the beginning of Magic, and like the crown jewel of this auction, in my opinion, and the one that's going to pull down the most bank is Demonic Tutor. It may just be an uncommon, but it is one of the most powerful tutor effects ever made, where for 2 mana, you can just go through your deck and get any card you want, right? Like, with no downsides. Don't put it on your deck. Don't pay any extra life. Don't show it to your opponent. Don't let them get a card. Like, no cost other than a black and a colorless. Search through your library for any card you want, put it in your hand, right? They didn't know just how powerful tutor effects would be back then. So these cards are all from like the more unbalanced days of Magic, but more importantly, they carry a heavy weight of nostalgia for somebody like me. I would absolutely love to possess something like the James Tome art. I'm not delusional enough to think I could ever even ball on the level of the Demonic Tutor, but I imagine these pieces of art are going to sell for so much money that it would just be inconceivable to me. More money than I've ever made in my whole life, probably, is how much some of this stuff will sell for. And that, bear in mind, I've just had a bunch of garbage jobs, so I'm not saying they're going to get millions of dollars. I'm just saying I've made poor life choices and haven't made much money in my life. All right, so my friends, that wraps up all of the Magic news for the day. Let me know what you think about what's going on here, the different things that I've talked about in the comments below. If you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, subscribe. It's all great for the channel. If you don't like what I'm doing here, get your head checked, because you've literally just sat through 15 minutes of something you hate when, like, this is not mandatory, right? I don't know if somebody told you have to be here. You don't have to be. So go out and enjoy your life, friend. There's lots of things to do. If you hate me, don't watch me. I know it sounds weird to say it, but, you know, from some of you guys in the comment section, I wonder about your mental health sometimes. So just a friendly reminder that you're allowed to hate me, but do it like smart people do when they hate something. Avoid it. Stay away from me. So I'm gonna put up a link here to my newest lore video on one side and my Hatcher video of me opening the Zendikar intro, the Zendikar Rising welcome booster, if you haven't seen that. I'm gonna be doing some crazy stuff over on that channel. That's my junk drawer channel, where it's not just gonna be magic, it's gonna be whatever I feel like talking about. So we're gonna get random and weird over there. Anyhow, I have been yammering probably more than long enough, so let me get on up out of here. Thanks for being here, my friends. Always nice to see you. I will see all of you very soon.